And I'm a corpus lawyer, fresher this year at Corpus. I think international KUSU is a hub of international students, and I feel like lots of potentials could be extracted from it. And I think why I run for academic officers because international students face a unique set of academic problems. If you have a problem academically, you could approach your JCR, you could approach the main KUSU branch, but what international students face mainly is the problem of English language as a foreign language. And as a person who has was born in Hong Kong and moved to Singapore at the age of 12, I think I've got a problem on my own to cope with English language, as I'm sure some people over here do. And I think my experience would help me gain an insight into how to solve this problem. I've spoken also to Alan Wang, the academic officer for the previous term, about the situation currently. And I noticed there are like about 5 problems, and I want to go through them briefly. It's also on my manifesto to improve English language as a sort of the quality of teaching here. Firstly, it is a weekly program and it's informal. There isn't a proper a syllabus thing. It is also small attendance rate, 10 people from 2 to 3 the previous year. So it's increasing, but it's still quite negligible in terms of the impact it could make to the international community. Thirdly, there's got no formal recognition in terms of certification, and also lack of funding for a proper teacher. That's why it's the teacher is currently moving around and so forth. So I think we'll tackle them by sort of arranging a consultation, a session to form out a syllabus, and also secondly online resources, because I do French as well and I learn English and all those things using my own time for private studies, and I thought online resources capturing all those resources, BBC, CNN, would be very useful for a student who is hardworking. And also examination, that's not necessarily with a certificate, but sort of a benchmark for us and the IKUSU community, the committee to measure the results, because otherwise there won't be any sort of result that we could measure to gauge our success. And lastly, publicity, more publicity to get students who...
Time's up.
Yeah.
Would you like to sum up, please?
Yeah, those are my strategies. And you can ask me during question and answer about the rest of my manifesto.
You?
When I'm actually the main problem is trying to get a location within the university that was central enough so that everyone could come. Would Corpus have facilities to do that? Or?
Alan has warned me about that. He said that he's fortunate to have a King's student amongst the committee. He met with you. Offer a very prestigious and very attractive place for study. But Corpus is a very, very good, quaint, nice college. Although I think it's physically not big enough to have that kind of room. So I think I need to make some network amongst the new committee to sort of find a new place. Maybe Trinity and St. John too, but I think that is a logistic problem that we have to look into, and also.
Anne has a question?
Yeah. So first of all, Trinity is not possible because I'm at Trinity. And for any society, you can't non-Trinity society, you can't book a room more than once a term. Another problem would be. You mentioned that we have 10 students right now. We have much more in Mechamus. Of course, people tend to not go to classes because they think they have improved their English. So what would you do to actually maintain the attendance, during lunch term or even Easter term, if you're going to organize anything in Easter term?
Okay, thanks. Okay, I think we have to make a distinction between 2 groups of students, those who are already enrolled and those who are not enrolled who may need the program. As for the first part, they are enrolled in the program and they leave the program because they think that English is good enough. And if it's good enough, then good for them. But I think some problem may lie in the fact that the program is not providing enough to improve their English or encourage them, and they don't find a value in spending maybe an hour, 2 hours a week there. So I think one of the solutions would be to make the program much more rigorous and structured. I attend the French program in the language center. Okay. And they provide a syllabus. I thought we could sort of copy that model and let people foresee what they're going to do. So that's my proposed suggestion.
Wait a second, because I actually post the classes rationale in the website, so that's the professional syllabus or timetable the teacher will follow. So that's what you have said.
Yeah.
And what else would you do to market, in terms of marketing, to get more people to come?
Okay. The syllabus would be a formal structure listing down what you're going to do, but I think we also need to look into not just the procedure, but also the substance the substance of the classes and the qualification of the teacher, and also the output they're going to get in terms of examination, assessment, and all those things. If all those things could be improved upon, I think words of mouth would also help in gaining publicity for those who are untapped, those who are around but who need the program but were not in the program at the moment.
So you have a question? I'm very impressed by your speech. I am PPS student, so when I came, I actually had some problem writing my essay because PPS is really kind of essay intensive. But like, I feel a bit embarrassed to reach out for help.
Right.
So do you have any strategies that you can actually reach out to students who are actually sitting back that really need help?
Okay, so that falls under the second group of students I've mentioned, apart from the ones that already attended lesson. So I think the publicity officer would be playing a crucial role in reaching out. Secondly, I think the strategy about reaching out to international reps in different colleges would be a key to helping us publicize that this program exists. I mean, I attended the freshers talk in the lecture theatre earlier this year, the first few days of the week, and this was publicized like in quite a big way. So I was aware of that, but those who are not would get their information from the college mailing list, for example, and also departments, if that is possible.
Any more questions?
Besides, I mean, English is a very important issue with the IKUSU, but besides the problem of English, can you identify any other problems that the academic officer can probably address?
Yes, that's the rest of the manifesto. Alan in his earlier Alan, the previous officer in his manifesto mentioned international fees hikes, and I was hesitant about including that in my manifesto because I haven't studied the problem in detail, but now I'm convinced that international fees hikes shouldn't be unreasonable, and I'm going to put that on the agenda in terms of how we are going to represent international students as a body to go on to bodies like councils, like the KUSU has members on the academic council in Cambridge. So that would be one.
One last question, anyone? Jinho?
Did anybody else have a question? I'll go ahead with this one. Because I was just going to follow on to that question, because in addition to English and fee hikes, was there any other thing you had in mind that you wanted to mention?
I'm going to propose like a mentorship program between senior students. It might be graduate students or PhD students to mentor a fresher international student. They might be from the same nationality, the same subject, or different colleges, whatever. Those factors would be like in the form, like a leads kind of thing. What do you want? Like a parenting system, but not really, because like it would be focused on academic issues. Probably the same subject or some same subject areas, so law and PPS, probably essay subject, or medicine and engineering. So I think that would provide the kind of perspective and also similarity enough for them to gain something out of it.
Okay,
One last question.
Yeah.
So should we just
Oh yeah.
Linda?
You mentioned the mentoring system. I just have a quick question. Like, how would you motivate such PhDs and masters who would be busy with their courses to mentor like kids?
Okay, there are two motivations to sort of invite the person to volunteer. The first one is personal satisfaction, knowing you could mentor a student. If that's not enough, a CV, like you could put something on your CV. I mean, those are very, very vague reasons that won't motivate a PhD student. So I think what we are targeting would be. Yeah, so that's why I think much of our foot soldiers on that scheme would come from undergraduates instead of PhD students. I think the distance is a bit too far for them to be any substantive use to a student. Probably getting a second year to a first year would be much more beneficial that way.
Great, thanks very much.